Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game 15 Puzzle. 15 Puzzle is a solitaire card game in which the objective of the game is to move all the cards of a singular rank to the same pile. So, since there are 4 cards of the same rank in each standard 52 card deck, right? There are 4 cards of each rank, so you'll have 13 piles with 4 cards each of the same rank. And so in terms of the rules for playing, they're quite simple. What you'll have to do is, in terms of setting the game up, you'll have the game's called 15 Puzzle because you want to have 15 piles, right? You'll set up the game by dealing out cards in 13 piles, 4 cards to each pile. You'll then leave room for 2 remaining empty piles. This is because a pile can only have a maximum of 4 cards. These 2 empty piles will allow you to move cards to them to start the game. Right, so only the top card of each pile is available to play. A pile can only have a maximum of 4 cards. A card can only be moved onto another card of the same rank, and empty spaces can be filled with any card. So, we have 2 empty spaces to start off, which is standard for 15 Puzzle, right? Because you have your 15 piles, your 13 piles with 4 cards, and then your 2 extra piles. The objective is to make sure that each pile has all 4 cards in the deck of the same rank, right? Because there are 4 sevens, so we'd want ideally all of them in this pile, right? We could get all of our kings in this pile, right? And so on and so forth. What we're going to do here is we have to note that only the top card of a pile is available for play. A pile can only have maximum 4 cards, and a card can only be moved onto another card of the same rank. Right, and so that's one thing you have to be sort of careful about. So as you can see, right, a card can only be moved onto another card of the same rank. And so just to demonstrate and prove to you that a pile can only have a maximum of 4 cards, if I take this 8, even though these two are the same rank, they should theoretically be able to, I guess, stack with each other, but that pile already has 4 cards, so we cannot add an additional card there. Thus, we would have to, first of all, adhere to the rule that a pile can only have 4 cards, and second of all, we have to make sure that if we're moving a card, we move it onto another card of the same rank, and also note that you can only move the top card. Right, and that's pretty much it. Empty spaces can be filled with any card. So the game's literally that simple. Just remember, you start the game off with 13 piles, each containing 4 cards of the same rank. Containing 4 cards each, and our objective is to move those 4 cards into 13 piles, where each pile contains 4 cards of the same rank. So let us continue playing. We have our 3 kings here, so that's beneficial for us. What we're going to do is we're going to move our 8s there. That allows us to get a pile done right there. Now, what else can I do? Well, if I get my king, I can get that pile done. Now, where is my king? My king is right there. To get my king, we'll have to move that 5. And to move that 5, we'll need to expose a 5. Where can a 5 be exposed? A 5 can be exposed Okay, yeah. So notice the sequence I'm about to do here. Okay, let me just replay. I know that the 9 is under these 2 queens, so I'm going to move these 2 queens over here, right? These queens are the same rank, so they can be stacked on each other. I then have this 9 free. Well, I want to be able to get all our 9s, but we have a 9 under all these queens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 9 onto this 9 here, and then move all these queens back. That allows us to free up this 9. Then we can move our 2 9s there like so. So the more empty piles you have, the more leverage you have in terms of the movements you can make. Now we have another movement that is to be desired, right? We want to try to free up this queen right here. How would we go about doing that? Well, first things first, let's try to see if we can free up our ace. We can free up our ace if we free up this 10 and then free up that 3. And to free up that 3, okay, to free up that 3 is going to be a bit of a challenge, right? The reason being is Everything comes down to this 5. Yeah, so let us just see, right? As you can see, the game is pretty easy to play, right? Just by watching me, you'll sort of understand how to play. But let us continue on with the demo round here. We want to try to... If I can move that 10 somehow, it will be extremely beneficial for me. But all of our 10s are in pi, so nothing. We need a blank pile to be able to do anything with the 10s. Let us sort of see what else we can do here. I'm just moving stuff for the sake of moving it. Okay. So I move that 6 there. I can then move this 5 there. Okay. What does that allow me to do? That allows me to move this king. I can then move that 4 right there. Right? Now, what does that allow me to do? That allows me to move this jack and move this jack as well. I can then move this 2. No, I can't. I can then move this 2 and then move this 2. And then go ahead and move that 4. And I can move that 6. Okay. Now, right, we have these 3 2s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the 3 2s up there. Alright, so this is the luxury of blank piles here. And I was able to move my queen there. Now, we have our queen pile. Right, we have a pile here with 4 cards of the same rank in our queens, so that's good. Right, we want all 13 piles to have 4 cards of the same rank. Next, we have our kings, right? Now, let us try to go for our aces, okay? So we got our aces there. Wonderful. Now, let us move our jacks there, right? Now we have 4 piles of jacks. We have 4 jacks in a pile, so that's complete. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking to get a 2 there. Now, our 2 is buried behind there, and so what are we going to have to do now? Well, we're in a bit of a predicament. Let us sort of see what we could do. We are in a bit of a tough spot here. Okay. We'll move these 3s here. That frees up that 7. We move that 7. That frees up that 9. We can complete the pile with 9s. We then have our 6. Okay. Now, moving that 6 won't do us much. So, let us look and see if we can perform an alternate maneuver here. We have this 5. If we move those 2 5s, that frees up our 7s. We can then move those 2 7s. We can then move all 3 5s there. Right, so as you can see, we're getting a lot of piles done here. Move that 3 there. We have that pile of 3s done. We have the 9s done, queens done, jacks done, 8s done, 3s done, 5s done, aces done, 7s, and kings. And we need the last 10. That last 10 is hidden behind the 4. So we'll move the 4s there, just for the sake of it. Now, it's beautiful. Get that 6, move that last 4. Now we'll move the 6s into that pile. So as you can see, the game isn't too hard, right? We move the 2s there. And so we won. We got all the cards of each rank, right, in the different suits in the same pile. So what's the objective of 15 puzzle? Let us sum it up. The objective of 15 puzzle is to move all 4 cards of each rank in the same pile, so that there are 13 piles each containing 4 cards of the same rank. The rules for moving cards are as follows. Only the top card of each pile is available for play. A pile can only have a maximum of 4 cards. A card can only be moved onto another card of the same rank. And empty spaces in a pile can be filled with any card. So you'll start off setting up the game with 13 full piles and 2 empty piles. Use these 2 empty piles in an attempt to win the game. 15 puzzle is a unique solitaire and I find it quite fun. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.